Morning all. Yes, I've come to a bit of a grinding halt here at the moment. I'm waiting for some perspex to do the side windows. Obviously can't do the pull of the vac forming of the main windows, so I've got a big pile over here of various, the cupolas and the moulds all waiting to be done, but I can't move forward with that. So I got out the bits box yesterday and just went through a few parts that are going to be fitted next. These are the ventilators that were fitted in the top right and top left of each turret window, and there's even I've made these as far as I can to scale, and they even have a little handle underneath so that the ventilator actually functions, just for fun. So I'm quite looking forward to fitting those to the windows. I think they'll really set that off. I've also got the fittings that need to be attached. These feet, they're a little bit odd, but they'll just hold down the front of the cupola, and then the rear of the cupola will be bolted through at the back. So they're done. What else? This is the parts needed. Well, I'll just move that in shop. These are the parts needed to fit the front tub, which Helimag Ken is or has printed, but he can't get it to me at the moment because of the coronavirus. So basically, I'm back to doing a computer-aided design on the computer, which I hate doing in this hot weather, and trying to make progress in other directions. I think I've just about figured out how to bend the extruded aluminium to form the curved, or specifically curved geodetic members. So as a matter of just finalising those drawings and then making that, and just redrawing the internal fittings for the geodetic joints, which I touched on in the last film, and look into how best they can be made in a cost-effective fashion, because I'm going to need a lot of them, and fairly tight tolerances, so it's a question of how best to make them at the moment. That's about it from here. I'll do a new film as circumstances allow. I hope you're all keeping well, and that's it for now. Morning all. This particular film is likely to be made up of lots of short films that are bolted together, so it may seem a little disjointed. What I'm working on at the moment is the side windows. So that's this window here, this panel here, the one over the top, and the two that correspond to these two on the other side. These are mostly simple curvatures, so there's very little in the way of complex curves on it. So I should be able to make it from flat sheet, very thin flat sheet of acrylic. And if I need to, I can persuade it a bit with a hot air gun of some sort. A little bit of trial and error there. What I did yesterday was I took pieces of paper like this, wrapped them around the cupola in the approximate shape, and then just defined where the metalwork is underneath, so that when it's folded, when it's flat again, I can then use that as a template for cutting out the perspex. In fact, what I'll probably do is cut the perspex out wider by about 1 inch all round, curve it to shape, put the paper on the back, and then trim it to shape. That way, if I'm handling the perspex when it's really hot, obviously I can't do that with my hand, so I'll be using some form of tool, and I don't want to leave tool marks on the bit of perspex I want in the middle. So I've got a whole bunch of these prepared, and it just shows which window it is, which turret it is, which side of the turret it is, and where it is in as a position on the window, where forward is and where up is, just in case I lose track of these things. Yeah, so having done that, the next thing I need to do, I'll need to zoom in on this, but if you there we are. What we've got here is a brass metal strip with lug holes on it, which will be bolted through the perspex, and they engage on a plastic fitting on the other side where there's a nut, and the perspex will be trapped between the two. In order to fit the perspex, therefore, I need to remove all this strap work over the whole turret, label everything so I don't get it confused, because it was all hand done, and then when the perspex is done, bolt the whole lot back up. So that's today's job. I think is going to be to remove all this strap work now and label everything most carefully so that I don't get in a pickle later. Anyway, there you go. So onward and upward, and I won't be able to make any further progress on these windows around the front until I can get the hot perspex vacuum formed, and there's absolutely no sign of that being possible in the short or even medium term till the CV19 falls over. Anyway, I hope you're all well, keeping well, out of the path of this thing, and I look forward to bringing you another film in due course. Ta-ta for now. Hi all. This is Fid continuing with the turret film. Got a handful of last bits today. These little plates, riveted plates, will go on the back of the spent cases chutes to widen them, because they look a bit too narrow at the moment. And these, if I bring it close, you'll see it's actually two pieces held together with little pins of plastic. They'll be cut up and to make two pieces, and the pins will be filed away. I've found that with pieces like this, it helps if you make it like that, because they support each other and you end up with a straight part with no warping. Also, if you get these commercially printed, as I have done with these, they price by the part as well as by the cube of the volume, so it's in your interest to spruce stuff together so that, especially with small parts, so that is considered one part rather than 8. But it's a matter of a few seconds work just to trim it with a knife. And these are going to be the clips. If I bring the camera here, you'll see these lugs here. Well, when the perspex is on, this brass lug will be on the outside of the perspex, and then you'll have the perspex sitting there, and then the white one I've just shown you behind it, and that'll be screwed down into the base of the cupola, and then a bolt will go through the brass, through the perspex, through the lug, and be tightened on the back. So the ones I'd previously made were not quite the right size, so I've done these ones with a bloody great slot in them so that they're highly adjustable. The other thing that's happened over the last couple of days is I've fitted these little feet here. They don't exist on the real turret, which is why they're sort of painted green to just camouflage the fact that they're there. But the function on the model turret is to hold the front of the turret down, and then inside the doors at the back of the turret there are now screws which go down through the aluminium plate and have a nut on the back. So when all that's done up, the cupola can't move, that's obviously going to be necessary for flight. But for the moment, none of that's done up because obviously I've got all the windows to do. No sign yet of the perspex, so I can't make any progress with that. They're obviously busy making masks and things, so that will just take as long as it takes to pitch up. So a bit of painting today, looks like, and trimming of parts and so on to fit all these new bits. That's it for now. Pick this up later. Evening, chaps. Just thought I'd bring you up to speed with where I've got to. The new parts that arrived today have all been painted and fitted, so they consist of a flange on the chute, both sides of each chute. When I did them according to the best drawing that I had, but they were not really wide enough, so this just creates the impression that it's a little bit wider. And there's also an additional plate here, which again is about 0.5 millimetre wider than the chute behind it, so again it creates the impression that the thing's a bit chunkier than it is without looking odd. So they're all fitted on both turrets. As I said, I did the feet at the front, so they're done. So I've come to a grinding halt again. Nothing I can do until the perspex turns up. But quite pleased with today's results. And naturally I check this, but if I operate the thing, you see that it all misses. I don't know if you can see, but right here is a big slot in the underside, and this cone shape guides the cases down to the chute. So whatever the elevation of the guns, the cases fall into the chute, and I'll carry it away. I should say cases and links, because they both wind up there. Right, that's it. I'll catch you another day.